Happy Wednesday, everybody. I am a few days late posting this. I was going to do a reply for the Penkava case Friday night. As soon as I got home, I was going to open my laptop, talk about it, give you the details, and just, really be on my game. I heard what the sentence was, and honestly, what I learned was that this is a lot harder than I keep thinking it is. I know it's hard because, I've fallen into bouts of depression. I've fallen into anxiety, and, it's difficult. A lot of this is triggering to speak of the abuse that happens within the organization, but it's something that needs to be talked about, and it's something that needs to be shared, and people need to be aware of it because there are a lot of people who are not aware of it. Unfortunately, I couldn't hold my emotions back, and so I didn't do a video Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, because I really wanted to get my thoughts in order. I really wasn't sure how I was going to present this. Everyone knows what the sentence is at this point. And so that, to me, that didn't matter. It was, what did I want to share? What was my take on this? Because I take it very personally. I have a past where I was abused within the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses. My case wasn't handled properly. And so this is very triggering. It is very personal. And, I wanted to, and now I'm trying to get into activism, and I'm trying to decide where I land in all of this. And today I think I found my reply. So first, we'll just get right into the sentencing. As everyone knows, the two elders were sentenced 1 year of court supervision, 10 years of community service, $250 in fines for failing to report that a congregant was sexually abusing a child. Okay. Here's what I did not know. I did not know what was requested. So what was requested? He asked that the men be sentenced to 12 days in the McHenry County Jail, which would represent 1 day for each of the 12 years the girl continued to be sexually abused. He also asked that they serve 30 months of community service and pay $2,500 in fines and be required to complete a mandated reporting program. I think that is a way better sentence. I would take any one of those. Just take any one of that and add it to the actual sentencing that they got. I think what they requested, the 12 days in jail, 1 day for every year that she was additionally abused, I think that's brilliant. 12 days in jail, that's not going to kill you. Yes, they're old. Someone will be like, you can't use age. They're old, okay? They're in their 80s, and one's almost 90 or something like that. But 12 days is doable. That being said, some sentence is better than no sentence. They were found guilty, and that is a huge win. So we don't want to overshadow. Did I not press play? No, okay, good. I thought that entire thing hadn't been recorded. Sorry. Oh my goodness. All right. So both men are planning to appeal the convictions, of course. I just want to go into a little bit more detail. because I had paid for the subscription to one of the magazines in that town. And so this is what was said. Scott's attorney said that it was, let me back up. Penkava's attorney said it is possible to act in good faith and still be wrong. He had no benefit in this. He did not aid the abuser. All right. So now Scott's attorney said it is pure speculation to say that even if the elders reported the abuse when the girl was 6 years old, that it would have stopped. That made me mad. Let me repeat this. This is there's Penkava and Scott. Scott's attorney said it is pure speculation to say that even if the elders reported the abuse to the police when the girl was 6 years old, that it would have stopped. Really? And he goes on to somewhat blame the mother because the mother knew of the abuse as well, which is exactly something that happened in my childhood, or in my case. The elders were trying to blame other people, my mother one of them. So that just irritated me. This is what Penkava had to say. I had earnest trust and faith in God and the judicial committee. I never acted in bad faith. I truly believed I was following the law of Illinois. I am so sorry for any suffering in this utterly sad situation. I never became a conspirator to cover up abuse of a child. Penkava's statement detailed his 45 years as a witness, 35 of those as an elder, and then he talked about his 35 years as a teacher, where he safeguarded and considered his students as his family. Now, this is the point that I like here. I know I'm going to ruin this name. Youash? There's a link in the description. You guys can read it. Said, when you hear a child is being abused, you don't call legal. You do the right thing, Judge. He told County Judge Gerhardt. He was a teacher for 35 years. He had been trained. He knew better. He also told the judge that a message needed to be sent to Jehovah's Witnesses that it is not okay to not report child abuse. I agree 100% with this. Penkava is using his years as a teacher to prove how good of a person he is. But this statement by Youash, I'm so sorry, I'm demolishing that name. He's 100% correct in saying you're a teacher. You've been trained. You know better. A child who's being abused, you go tell the authorities. If a child in your classroom, as a teacher, if you have a child that's telling you that they're being abused at home, you automatically involve law enforcement. There's an investigation that happens, and it's not an internal investigation. It's not like all the teachers get together and then they do a judicial committee within the teachers' lounge. That's not the way it happens. And so I'm going to stop right there. So, moving on from the case itself, from the sentencing, I know not everyone, but a lot of people were upset, just as I was, that it wasn't a harsher sentence. In some way, it is what it is, and does it really matter at this point? It's a win. They were found guilty, and it is a warning. It shows all the other elders and the current Jehovah's Witnesses that you're not above the law, and the right thing to do is to report it. Whether or not it's mandated and it's a state law, the right thing to do is to report to the local authorities. And so with that being said, there's a few people I want to quote or talk about. I saw a tweet today from Mark O'Donnell, and actually it was a comment that he made on a tweet. And he said, "While many are disappointed with the light sentence, it's important to recognize this as the first step in enforcing laws that have largely been ignored by states across the U.S. for years. Few have ever challenged religious privilege in this context until now. Thank you, Illinois." Beautiful comment, beautiful message from Mark O'Donnell. I know that he and his team have worked so hard, and seeing as how just hearing of this sentence got me into a spiral of emotion, I can't imagine going actually through this and through the amount of time that everyone has spent on this. So thank you to everybody who was involved. Thank you to everyone who is making an effort to change the laws to make that difference, because it is a win. It is the first step, like he said, in enforcing laws that have been ignored until now. It's about awareness, and it's not just making the public aware, it's making our politicians aware, it's making the government aware. It's all of it. So leading into that, I watched a YouTube video today from Alt Worldly, and it had nothing to do with this case. But he was interviewing Norwegian activist Jan Nielsen, and I actually went back and made sure that I was saying that one correctly. That was about the Jehovah's Witnesses losing their funding, but I loved the last 10 portions of that video, 10 minutes. They were just talking about, different activists working together and getting along and the changes that it can make. And these were a few things that Jan had to say. I think it applied to me and my situation, how, honestly, it helps me realize where I stood, what my viewpoint was in regards to the Penkava case. And he says, the sad part about Jehovah's Witnesses is they kick out different opinions. It's okay to not agree with everything. And I agree with that. It's okay to not agree with everyone's opinion. But that's not the case in the Jehovah's Witness organization. So we are all going to have our own opinions on the Penkava case. Some people are going to think that they should have, harsh sentencing. Some think that they shouldn't be guilty at all, that the publicity itself is good. And some people are, they're okay with it. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. But isn't that the beauty of being outside of the Jehovah's Witness organization? We can have different opinions, we can share those opinions, and we can all get along, but still work towards a greater good, which is the activism, making other people aware, things like that. And then Jan went on to talk about how this takes time. It takes years. And, you might be in a trial for years, and then it gets appealed, which is exactly what's going to happen in the Penkava case. They're going to appeal it. And you just don't know where it goes from there. What if this gets overturned? It's not easy, and it's not short term. This takes time. And, a lot of people, they just want to know when the watchtower is going to crumble. When's the watchtower going to fall? It's not about the watchtower falling. It's not about the watchtower organization not existing. I think a lot of us can agree, again, different opinions, but a lot of us can agree that they have a right to exist. But it's the rules and the danger within that organization that needs to change. It's the policies that need to change. And it's government that can control some of those policies, because the organization has clearly shown they're not willing to change their ways. So now it's up to activists and other members, the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, to make people aware of this, and hopefully, we can, I feel like I'm saying making changes a lot, but we can make changes. So anyways, it's not about bringing down the watchtower. No. It's about making changes. I am saying that a lot. Sorry. Jan also went in to mention that you don't have to be a large or well-known activist. And I agree with this 100%. He went in to talk about how it's, the little things. It's talking to your friends. It's commenting on a Facebook post. It's sharing a newspaper article. It's, doing little videos like this. I have, 120 subscribers. That's literally a piece of sand. It's half a piece of sand compared to everyone else, and I'm okay with that. But it's all these little things, and more people get involved, and there's more voices, and there's more comments, and then more people comment to that, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, all these little things, they start to add up. And this is what Jan had said. It's all these little things that start to add up. And that's what changes minds, opinions. It makes politicians aware, and politicians change their minds or opinions. And then government, policies, law, all those little things, they build and build and build and build. And so we have to keep that in mind. You don't need to be the top dog. You don't need to be this well-known person. If you don't like the idea of creating a YouTube channel, no problem. Make a comment. Just watch it. Be a subscriber. Get on Reddit and just be a part of the community. You don't have to be a big player. Every little bit helps. And ultimately, I love how Jan had finished up this little, discussion that he was on. He had brought up that all of this destroys Watchtower's way to get new members. And I love that. You can exist. I have no problem with that. But I would ultimately prefer that you don't bring anyone new in. I mean, that's my opinion. And I don't know. Until they change their policies, I would just prefer that everyone is fully aware, and then they can make their own decision. They can make their own opinion about the Watchtower. Not everyone agrees with my opinion, because I would never become a Jehovah's Witness again. Anywho, and he also said it takes away the Watchtower organization, it takes away their way to control the narrative. Because if they're in the media and they're in the court system and they're on the stand, when the governing body, I'm going to do a whole thing on Jeffrey Jackson on the stand, it's honestly, it takes away their control, because it's opening these doors, and it's opening up, it's opening the curtains, and everyone can kind of see behind the curtain, whereas before, we didn't have the internet. We had to judge everything based on literature and, access to court documents and what was happening in legal cases. Unless it was published in a newspaper, and unless you read that newspaper, you honestly weren't going to find out. And you certainly weren't going to read a newspaper from Illinois. So the internet has been a fantastic tool, and who knows, maybe it will be the fall of the Watchtower. Maybe it will bring him down. Anyways, that's my take on this whole situation. It was super negative. I honestly fell into a bit of a depression. Not just because of this, but there was a lot of things combined and it triggered some hard emotions for me. So I apologize that I did not get out a video on Friday as I had planned, but I hope that by taking a few days, I'm able to provide you with a different perspective, a different opinion, something a little positive, and let me know what you think. I want to know your opinion on this, and tell me your opinion on my opinion. I'm curious. I really am. So subscribe, like, forward if you can. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. I am officially on the internet as DRExJW, so if you Google or search me in any way, you'll find DRExJW. All right, thanks everybody.